All right. Appreciate everybody being here. Just excited to get back going to work this week. After getting a nice win this weekend, I think, after watching the tape, I think our kids played hard and particularly in the second half came back out and really took care of business. Right from the start with the play right out of halftime with Hawkins going up the sideline for the big play and kind of just really set the tone for the rest of the night. So just excited to get that win and happy for our guys. And then, we're excited to get back going this week against Western Kentucky. We know it's a football team that looks improved to me. Coming off, I think, second year for their coach. Last year their record wasn't great, but it looks like they're playing better this year. They lost Central Arkansas, which I think is a pretty good football team. Watching their film, we got a lot of good talent. And then go on the road and beat FIU this past weekend. So we know we'll get their best shot. They'll play extremely hard. So we have to have a great week of practice in order to go get another win. Mm-hmm. Well, he gives us some more depth at the tight end position. He's got great size, great talent. I would say he has not lived up to his talent since he's been here. I think he's got a lot of potential. Hopefully he'll reach that potential. There's times we've seen it in practice, and you're like, wow. I mean, this guy can be really good because of his size, his power, his speed. He's got good hands, and we obviously love to utilize tight ends. We're 11 and 12 personnel type team, so he's going to give us some more size there to set edges, I think. So we're excited to have him back, and we'll certainly utilize him and get him in there, and we'll see. He hasn't played this year, so obviously we'll see see how he is toward game time, but he'll certainly get in the mix and play for us.
Coach, with that said about Jordan, can you assess the guys who have played and how they've done so far the first two games at that position? Yeah,
I think Ian's kind of been our on-the-ball tight end for us, and he's done a really good job. We saw that in August camp. We saw how how he blocked. That's one thing we didn't know for sure. He'd lost a lot of weight from where he was at Vanderbilt, but he's come along and did a great job blocking for us. He's still learning what we're trying to do offensively, but doing better and better. I think Ford has done a great job at the H-back position for us. We were able to see him catch the football really both games that we've played. He's really good after catching the ball, getting yards after the catch. I think that's been very impressive. A couple of the touchdowns he had the other night were easy, kind of easy touchdowns for him, but he makes it look easy. I mean, hopefully we'll continue to find ways to get forward the ball. I think he's dynamic as a tight end with the ball in his hands, with the matchups with the linebackers. I think he's quicker and faster than the backers and able to make plays. So. I think, and then Isaac's been a guy who's played both Y and H for us and has done a good job. But getting Jordan in the mix now, so it'll give us some more bodies there, and hopefully keep those guys fresh as we move throughout the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, because it allowed these other guys to get more reps, more playing time. To get more comfortable. And now I think it's going to be, now we got to do that with Jordan. I think he's got to get comfortable now within the offense because the first 2 weeks, of games, he didn't really get many reps with us, with the offense, because we're getting those other guys ready. So it's kind of been mental for him. So he's got to have a big week of practice and really implementing him into game plan of knowing what to do when you get out there, because now those guys have experience. I think, it's valuable to have that game experience. And so, he'll have to knock the rust off early, Jordan, when he gets in there, because really comes down to the speed of the game. It's hard to get those kind of looks in practice. It's not as fast. The guys are maybe not as strong that you're going against. And so, really get him in early in this game and give him a good feel for it.
It's only 2 games, but what have you learned about your team so far this year?
Well, I like the way that we're playing, the energy we're playing with. I like the fight we're playing with. I think that's where it all starts. I think when you do that, then you're going to continue to improve and get better and better. And I think we improved from game 1 to game 2. defensively, the mental errors we cut in half from the first game to the second game, and I think that obviously showed getting a shutout the way we did, which was tremendous. Particularly how much they had possessed the ball. I thought that was very impressive for our defense. But and then offensively the same. I mean we cut down mistakes. We had one turnover, which was receiver slipped on that really on the fourth down play, so really could have converted that. So I think just an overall better performance. So we got to continue to get better. There's a lot of things we got to get better at and work on, but our guys are continuing to get better every day, and that's all we can ask for. To get better every day, and we're trying to settle in for roles for everybody. We're still usually in the first 3-4 games, you're going to do that. There's guys have to find their roles within the team, settle in those roles, and then accept those roles. So we're still trying to settle that out, and we're getting close with that. And I'm talking more of your down the line guys, maybe trying to find roles on special teams and those type of things.
Scott, I saw the sign on the door as you walked into the practice facility today. How important is it to win those in-state matchups, whether it be for a win or recruiting purposes?
Well, I just want to take pride in the state of Kentucky. A lot of our guys are from here, and and just for our fans and just for bragging rights in the state. I mean, you always want to take care of your state, take care of your home field. In this case, we're going to be on the road, but we're playing a team from our state, and so there's a lot of the players on our team that know a lot of their players. So I think it's just bragging rights, and it's just one more thing that should help motivate our players. So us as coaches try to find anything to motivate these guys, and that's just one more thing that we're throwing in the mix this week as another team from Kentucky.
Obviously, the guys waited a long time for that win, and what's the process like for taking that energy from that, packaging it into focus for the next game and the rest of the season?
Well, it's good because we did get a win. There's no question about it. But win or lose last week has nothing to do with this week. It's a new week. Yesterday we put that game to bed. Everything now is straight focus on WKU. Our guys are coming over today on their off day. A lot of them have already been over here starting to watch the film from the opponent for this week. And it really doesn't matter what we did last week. We have to stay in the moment. We have to do the best we can do today as far as getting our bodies ready for tomorrow's practice, and so we can come out and have a great practice. So all our focus has to be on today and not worry about what we did in the past. It was just nice to have that win. Nice to celebrate it on Sunday or Saturday night and Sunday morning. But you got to put it away. It has no bearing on this game here. We got to continue to get better. That's what our focus will be this week.
Coach, looking at Western Kentucky's defense, is there anything that you've seen through these two games that you think could be beneficial for your offense?
Well, I think as we look at their defense, I think they're pretty aggressive. I think they got a pretty good two good defensive ends actually. We faced a good one last week at number 44, and then two good ones in Notre Dame. So that's good preparation as we head into this game right here. I think they've been pretty sound on defensively. Through 2 weeks. The first game they played, they gave up some passing yards. One of those plays was a trick play, and let the receiver go down the field. It was a long play, but I think we got to get better throwing the football. I know Western Kentucky is going to load the box up. They do that anyway. It's just in their nature, their style of their defense, bringing safeties down. You're going to have opportunities out wide. We got to win, and I sound like a broken record. I feel like I say that every week, but we got to win some of those battles on the outside. We got to be able to get the ball in the hands of those guys outside, and they got to be able to make plays. And we're working hard at that. And we got to be good at that. Next Saturday, that'll be a critical part of the game offensively, is to be able to get the ball down the field in the pass game.
Early in the game, you took a number of shots downfield. Was that Eastern Kentucky driven, or was that more, no, we need to establish that ourselves?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think, first play of the game, we tried to take a shot with 2-2. We get the PI, call, safety grabbed him, which, probably would have been a touchdown there, I feel like, had he not grabbed him. But that was intentional. We want to take some shots. We know we got to be able to do that. We know the teams are going to play us. We want to run the ball, so they're going to be loading it up. It's one-on-one matchups out there. We got to go win those. And that's going to be every week, and this week will be no different. And so we have to win those battles, and, we wanted to start that right off the top there against the last opponent, EKU. So we only hit a couple of the balls down the field, but we got to be able to hit a lot more. I mean, we got to be able to throw and catch and get the ball down the field. We're decent in the intermediate, the short passing game, but to stretch the defense to get them backing off, we got to be able to hit those balls down the field.
Coach, speaking of the one-on-one battles, Justin Marshall won the one long ball. What have you seen from him and his progression through fall camp and now through?
Yeah, I mean, really like Justin. He's one of the hardest practice players we have. He goes wide open all the time. He's still learning the nuances of the offense, learning where to line up. Just, and it may be just a split. If I need to be a yard outside the hash, sometimes he's made some mistakes lining up. We got to get that cleaned up. But he knows what to do, though. He's really, really good and made 2 great catches the other night. He's a hard guy to cover. I think he's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's fast, got good hands. So we hopefully will continue to find ways to get him on the field and get him the ball. He's also a very good blocker. He's got very good strength, and he takes pride in blocking. So we really appreciate that, and so we want to reward him for that, the way he blocks, and hopefully we'll be able to get him on the field more as the season goes on.
Coach, obviously Juwan played better in the second half. How do you take that and build on that instead of just kind of keeping this consistency going?
Well, we hopefully continue to build on that. I think one of the things that he's doing really good in is in the run reads that he's having to make. Because a lot of those little throws he's made to tight ends or whatever are he's reading that out, and he's reading that when I need to pull it, when I need to hand it off, when I need to pull it and throw it, all those, and he's done a really good job at that. We got to get better just to downfield throws, and he knows that. Last night or Saturday evening there was probably about 4 down the field throws that we should have made better decisions, better throws, giving the receivers a chance. We had Fitz down in the end zone one time, we overthrew him. We had Seth down the middle of the field, we overthrew him. We just got to be able to hit those balls, or at least give them a chance. Give the receivers a chance and not just overthrow them. There was another time we had 2-2. We got another PI call on that one, but I still think he probably could have gave him a chance to catch that ball. So that's just working on that in practice, working on the timing and dropping the ball down on top of the receivers.
Coach, you're only through 2 weeks, but I think you've only played one true freshman. How do you decide who is going to play, or maybe when you get some guys some reps and that kind of thing?
Well, I think, and we talk to our guys all the time about how we know once we get into the thick of this season that we're going to have guys dinged up. Other guys are going to have to step up and be ready to play. So it all starts in practice. How hard are you going in practice? How well are you going to get yourself prepared so when your time comes that you're going to be ready to play? We know what's going to end up happening here soon, and we know we don't have a ton of depth. The guys that will end up playing will be inexperienced guys, and so we're trying to get them reps in practice, and maybe throughout the season we'll be able to slide them in and get some game experience for them. You don't want to make wholesale changes where you have a bunch of them at the same time out there, but if you're just putting one guy in amongst the other guys that have already played a lot, maybe they won't stand out as bad. So I think we'll just play that by ear as we go throughout the season, and see how it goes. But most of the guys right now, I think we've, like you mentioned, we maybe play 1 or 2 guys that are freshmen, so not many.
And defensively, you rotated a ton of guys up front. After watching film, are you excited about what you saw from them up front?
Yeah, we want to be able to do that. We feel like if we can get that rotation defensively, we're keeping those guys fresh because obviously one of the things that we want to be as a team that chases the ball with relentless effort, and we were able to do that the other night. We're really at both games, and so the more guys that can play, the fresher you are, the harder you can go, and then you're going to be able to win those second and fourth quarters. And those are the 2 quarters we got to win. They got to be able to finish both halves. So it's exciting to see a lot of the guys playing. Probably playing a lot more on that side of the ball than we are on the offensive side of the ball. But I think that'll benefit us as we go down the road toward conference play. Yeah, we are. We've played a lot of guys. I think in the secondary, we've played a bunch of linebackers. Last week, Rajay didn't practice most of the week, but ended up playing. But Quinn Head got in there and played a lot. We played at least 4 inside linebackers, and then the rotation for D-line was really good. I think the more you gain experience with those guys, and I just feel like the defense is starting to gel, starting to mesh a lot better, and you're playing a lot of guys, it'll just benefit us. And I think, we're starting to get some guys that can make plays. We've done a really good job of putting pressure on the quarterback. I think, what do we have, 5 sacks Saturday, and so if we can continue to do that, keep them off the chains, obviously benefits our defense in a great way.
You mentioned that you want to be able to throw deep more and stretch the defense, and he had some balls that he didn't complete. Is it a matter of just building up his confidence or more reps and get him sharper passing, or what's the next step you'd like to see him take?
Well, I mean, it's probably a little bit of both. It's running great routes. It's recognizing where I need to throw the ball to which receiver, because the other night there was we hit, like I mentioned earlier, hit a couple of times where I thought he could have thrown it to a different guy where they're more open, and so you get a little bit more leeway when they're more open. So, and then it's just giving them a chance. And I think it's just timing. I think it's in practice it's hard because we do throw some deep balls in practice, but you can't just run the receivers forever at practice, and so you only get so many opportunities with that. And so we got to take advantage of those opportunities, drop it down on them. I always talk about when you're overthrowing them. I joke with the quarterback. I said we might as well just run the ball again. Because it's a wasted play. You just overthrew everybody. If we hand the ball off, at least we got a chance to get a yard. You're overthrowing them. You're not giving that guy a chance, because I think when you drop it on the receivers, a lot of good things can happen. You can get PI. You obviously can catch the ball. You have an opportunity to catch the ball, and usually not many negative things are going to happen because the DB is still trying to figure out where's the ball. He's chasing the receiver. So we have to be able to just drop it down on him, and those just through practice and through game experience. Just getting a feel for it. I think, we just got to work on it. We just got to continue to get better at it. I don't think there's any magical formula. I think you just got to continue to practice it and try to get better at it.
Last week you mentioned that following the Notre Dame performance, there was some positive reaction from the recruits that you guys are talking to. After having a couple home games, being able to host a lot of guys, what's been the reaction from that, especially from the guys that have come in and watched you guys play?
It's been great. We had 4 official visits in this weekend, and they loved it. From the families loved it. The recruits loved it. 2 of the guys were already committed, and so. I think the biggest thing we always tell them is that, we want to be consistent. Whenever they come here, if they came a month ago, if they came today, or if they come a month from now, they're going to get the same treatment. I think our staff does a great job of being who they are. We're not trying to hide anything. We're putting everything out front. We're very genuine with these recruits, and I think the moms and dads recruits appreciate that. And we've gotten great feedback, and so I think we'll finish this class out. Will be an outstanding class, and some great players, and number one, great people. We're getting some great character in this class, and I think that's what we want more than anything. We obviously want talent, but I just think character wins a lot of football games, maybe more so than talent.
Coach, back to the defensive line, a new face this week in Ramon Puryear. What has he done to get on the field? And I don't know that I think he came in as an outside linebacker, I believe. Did he not?
He may have. We put him at D-line right off the bat. So he's been good, man. He's been a bright spot for our D-line. He's kind of, when he first gets out there, you really didn't know much about him, and then all of a sudden he starts making plays and he gets more reps, and then now he's really in the battle. He's battling in the mix now, and it'll probably be that way throughout the whole season. He's gonna be a good player for us. He's a hard worker. Really goes hard, and he's practiced with our defense, but he's also practiced with some of our chase teams as well, giving us good looks, and goes really hard against our O-line. Our O-line gets mad at him sometimes because how hard he's going, but that's what's making them better, and it's also getting him noticed. So no, I'm excited about the future that he has here, and as a player, because he will certainly play here. He fits the mold because he's quick, he's strong, and he goes hard. I think those attributes will do him well in the fact that he'll be able to get to play for us. Maybe whether it's this year, we'll see. But it's a great rule to have that 4-game thing where you still can get a red shirt. So it's awesome. All right, thanks, guys.